So as the High King Aelix has now tamed a dragon successfully and has some of the best fighting abilities in the history of House Bear, I think it's time that we approach the topic of realm authority. And as you can see right here, we currently have low realm authority, and it's been that way for pretty much the entirety of the existence of the Kingdom of the Woods. And it hasn't really hindered us in that... it hasn't really hindered us that much, I guess I should say. It has hindered us in the sense that we haven't been able to pretty much give an ultimatum to vassals that have declared wars on each other. But it has allowed us the opportunity to, have at least some positive opinion from our vassals. I don't think, though, that Aelix would have that kind of in the forefront of his mind. I think realm authority is one of those things where, when your vassals obey your commands, I think that would be the most important thing to the High King right now. So we are actually going to go ahead and institute it. There is no chance that it'll fail. It'll pass. I'm not sure exactly what the voting will be like. There's 2 undecided. There's only 1 who's outright against. So right now we're going to go ahead and institute that, allow the council to vote. Let's go ahead and advance and let's see what happens in terms of how the voting plays out. It's 3-1 right now. 4-1. 1 more vote and it'll be... Let's see. Cosgrove Coldwater wants us to propose that Lord Quinton of the Bear's Claw and Emeria Bear. Wow. No, definitely not. No, we have plans for Emeria. She's a green seer, so we don't want to just like hand her over. That's for sure. Let's go back to this view. 1 more vote in favor, and we will have the voting will pass. It'll be. I'm sorry, 2 more votes in favor, and it'll pass. Come on now. I'm getting lag spikes all of a sudden, and I think that's more to do with... Oh. Wow. Under my guidance, my young Lord Atreus, our brother, has gained the formidable fighter trait. Yo, that's awesome. Okay, so conspiratorial factions. Let's look really quick. I want to get to the voting, but Lord Ned for the Woods. So let's go ahead and send a gift to our half-brother, Ned Rivers. Let's go ahead and send him a gift, and let's not do anything to incite him. He does have a claim, so we're not going to do anything to kind of upset him. Let's go back to this laws view really quick. Leslin has been a leal and able servant, having successfully completed many tasks in aid of the woods. It would be seen as the right and honorable course to reward him with certain incomes and grants so as to foster greater loyalty. So let's go ahead and reward him. We can do that. And I want to see the votes. Come on. There we go. They went ahead and did it. I didn't see what the final tally ended up being, but the Lords of the Wood have instituted, or have approved the institution of the Medium Realm Authority law. So perfect. Medium Realm Authority. Let's let the games begin with that, and let's go ahead and roll the intro right now. So one of the things that I absolutely know that we need to do, we need to do everything we possibly can to give Prince Atreus the best educational outcome, because he's a formidable fighter. We have a little less than a year. He still has 2 childhood traits. He has kind and family person, which is fine, but he has rowdy and brooding, and so I'm hoping that both of those turn out in his favor, but it's not going to mean anything unless he has the education to back it up. So I think what I'm going to do, and this may kind of come as a surprise, he has a base 6 martial, which isn't ideal, but it's not terrible. I'm going to actually, now that he's a formidable fighter, I'm actually going to transfer his guardianship to, let's see. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and change it over to Thorin, who's our maester, and who's just, has a beastly learning trait, in order for the best possible outcome, whether it's the dice roll or whether it's increasing his base learning through the learning of his guardian. I think that'll be in our best interest. If we go ahead and transfer him, let him take over for that, and that's 2 formidable fighters in House Bear. That's amazing. I can't believe that. So that'll at least boost up his base learning to the point, I think if we can get it to like 8, in the next year. I don't think it'll happen, but I think ideally it would be 10. Double digits for student and master typically end up with a level 4 learning trait, but that's 5 that we would have to gain in order to make that happen. And I regret the decision to only give him a good education, but I know where we were at gold wise at that point in time, and it wouldn't have made sense for us to dip into the red in order to accomplish that goal. So yeah, I think there's a chance that he could at least end up with maybe a tier 3, which would be fantastic if he could do that. So we'll see how that turns out, and hopefully we go forward and that works. But one thing that I want to take a look at in this episode is we kind of have this option in front of us. We're gonna redo the borders to the Kingdom of the Woods, and it's going to look a little bit different here in the near future. Some of the de jure borders are going to change. I feel like that's been kind of the nice thing about this series itself, has been the customization, if that makes any sense, the customizable features of it. And so if you take into account all of the customized things that we've done so far, one of the things that we haven't done, we've formed the Redwoods, which was originally the Vale, but we have kept 2 de jure kingdoms in Westeros, and I think that changing those up will be in our favor of making something that is custom, and something that has a different feel to it, the same look, but a different feel. This is an alternative history to Westeros, and so this is kind of an opportunity for us to maybe look at, changing something that has been here in the past and isn't necessarily what we want right now. So I'm going to make a few changes. I'm not going to give away too much, but basically we're going to see new powerful houses rise to the top in the Kingdom of the Woods. We're going to see borders defined in not a completely, but in a different way, using what I believe to be, general kingdom divisions, both in medieval and modern times. Things like natural boundaries, meaning like rivers and mountains, kind of like how we have this natural border up here, where the redwoods are, and we're going to use a lot of those same features. Having the bear's claw surround the river that in the bay that's right here. Some of that will change a little bit in order to make the borders more aesthetically pleasing, but in the end it'll all end up with kind of the same feel. Nothing is going to be dynamically changed too much anyway. So I'm saying all this to say that's coming up. There is one war that's being fought right here between the Den and some of the vassals of the Den. So I'm going to wait till that war ends and we kind of have more consistent peace. Most of the wars have ended in all of the smaller kingdoms, the other kingdoms in the woods. So if we can make that happen, that'll be what we do. So we have the option of maybe taking the neck as our next little project, which I would like to do, and the fingers as well. I think would be, I don't know about the sisters, but definitely like these borders. I see Aelix as a conquering king, and so we're gonna take a little bit of a different approach to expanding the borders in the Kingdom of the Woods than maybe we had before. We've kind of played it safe. We've used diplomacy in a lot of our situations. We've we've done different things in order to accomplish our goals, but I think more than anything, Aelix is a conquering king, and we're going to use that to our advantage. So I'm going to wait for the war to end, and then we'll redefine the borders, and then we'll take a look at what our goals are going forward. Okay, it's not like I didn't expect this to happen, but my beloved sister Ameria is concerned that she's still not married. She's 18, so this is our Green Dreams sister, so we need to find her someone nice, and we're going to go ahead and make that pledge. She's not going to go out and find her own husband. Wouldn't want that to happen anyway. So let's load up some filters. Let's get ready to find some custom or some different courtiers. Let's change it up. Nobody that's married. So we have this guy, Daffin of the Three Towers, but he's got a fat face, so I'm not going to do that. I know that sounds mean, but if I can find somebody that's quick instead. I don't see anybody that we could possibly do that to. Let's look maybe strong. Strong is one of those traits where it used to be a lot less, it used to be not as good because we'd have, it wouldn't be as favorable as something like quick, where you just had a blanket sweep +3 on all your stats. Strong has an added benefit now, not only to dual skill estimate but also to health, which after Reaper's Due came out, and you have a lot more diseases and you have a lot more chances of dying of those diseases. The boost to your health is something that's definitely an added bonus, plus the dragon taming chance that's available in this version, or this submod, or mod in general. So there is a guy right here, Andrian of Reaver's Watch, who doesn't have great stats but has good traits. Temperate, brave, trained fighter, strong. He has a dual skill estimate that's far and above what his normal, or what he should have for being. Oh, plus he's only a child. That's weird. Is it his birthday today? No, not quite, but close. So he would actually have a dual skill estimate of 8 and a martial of only 9. So commanding wise, not great, but in terms of fighting ability, this guy's actually pretty good. Let's do that. Let's invite him to court, because we're gonna do a matrilineal betrothal, and we're gonna allow her line to kind of prosper, and bring us a little bit more. My king, I, Arlen of Greycliffs, request the right to take the Black and guard the realms of men as a sworn brother of the Night's Watch. I give you leave. Good luck. Interesting, our rival wants to take the Black. Good for him. Let him do that. Alright, so Andrian of Reaver's Watch has come to our court. We're going to go ahead and arrange a marriage. He is 16, she is 19 now, so that probably why she was getting a little bit worried. We're going to matrilineally marry them. The goal here is that she's going to have children that hopefully have, good congenital traits, and maybe will continue the Green Dreams line. She has gotten so... It's those two, an eagle and a crow. I can't imagine. That's such an interesting character. Can you imagine, having that written? That's incredible. Incredible. So that's something that we're taking a look at. We have this guy, Lord Creighton, who has one of his internal wars. I'm not technically concerned about that. See both options to end wars. So he has a claim on Brentbrook. I'm not going to concern myself for the time being. I'm not. I'm just going to let them do what they do and hope that, you know, they're able to work it out. I don't think we're in any kind of... There's no issue. They didn't cast the war or the realm into mega war or anything like that, so I'm not overly concerned. Still waiting on this thing to end. I've been getting a lot of updates from over in the east about like dragon dances, and so I wonder what's up with all of that. I will say something interesting that has happened is that Bravos has formed, like of its own accord. I don't think there's any I think Andalos has sort of dissipated, and Lorath has kind of taken over kind of where Andalos was on our map necessarily. Norvos is still a thing, it's right there. And then Valyria, yeah, look at Valyria under the actual realms view. Look how expansive they are. But they are two kingdoms. North Valyria is its own thing. Valyria is its own, and then it looks like they still have Myrrh as a tributary. So it's interesting. It's interesting to me, all of that's happening. I still don't know that they're technically a superpower, because we should have gotten a really big boost to our levies because of the realm authority that we just changed over. I think, let's see, independent states. Let's sort by army and independent states. Yeah, okay, so the Woods were able to raise up 109,000 men, which is good. That's pretty good. And then Valyria itself is only able to raise up 42. So if we were to end up in a situation where we were at war with Valyria, we would outnumber them by over 2-1. But the issue is not necessarily that, it's the dragons. We, having one dragon, and now, one dragon that's not even able to do anything, with only 2 martial, up against some of the dragons that exist in the world, it maybe makes things a little bit more difficult for us to look at going forward, because you never know with Valyria how many dragons actually exist over there, how many dragon riders actually exist, because it's so easy for them to tame dragons. There's such a big boost for High Valyrians to tame dragons in this mod. So definitely not wanting to pick any fights with Valyria, but we may actually have a shot. If we were to sail a large portion of our army right here and start offloading troops and siege down, I mean, we may be able to score a victory if they ended up declaring war on us. I don't know where we would fight the bulk of the war, but I don't think they're going to concern themselves with us for, at least the time being. It looks like they're more interested in spreading east. By the look of it, they've been able to get a lot of the Dothraki Sea under control. I don't see much change over in the far east. So it's just interesting, and I wanted to take a look and see, because I think the realm is in Harsh Winter. We're not necessarily. Yeah, the Night's Watch is. How far down does it go? It goes down to the neck right now, and then I don't think the Twins are in Harsh Winter, are they? They are, but it hasn't made it down the Trident yet. So I don't know if it's still traveling down, or if we're in for a stop. I don't know. We'll see. I think winter is always interesting. There's always a chance during Harsh Winter of the White Walkers showing up, and it doesn't look like they have in any kind of capacity, but we need to keep an eye on that, I think. There's always potential for it to happen. Check it out. Maester Thorin, coming in clutch, has published his work on the 4 humors. His ideas about black bile, phlegm, blood, and yellow bile, and how they can be manipulated to treat different ailments, has been received with much acclaim by scholars. So I knew this was a good investment, so we gave him some money, way back when to pursue. So yeah, he gains Renowned Physician, which actually boosts his learning even more so. This guy's going to be an Archmaester, I'm sure of it. As soon as there's an opening, I'm sure he's going to be. He hasn't done much in terms of boosting the learning of young Atreus, though. We have until the 19th of July. Hopefully his learning will just kind of trounce any kind of issues. Hopefully. It's always a toss-up, you never know. What has happened here? Oh, Leslin died of a bad case of the flu. He was our priest. So I have a new priest position open. I think I have just the person in mind. Right here. I mean, see, there's some better options. Like, this guy is a better option, but I don't think he's a priest. He's not really a priest character, being that he's a lunatic and a drunkard. But Ameria, our sister, who is a green seer, has the ability to warg into a crow and an eagle. Kind of has all the traits necessary, I think. She's temperate. Greedy, maybe not, but patient. I think she would make a very good priestess. And she can do that and still be married. That's no problem. Perform charity in Bear Hall, if you will. And yeah, I think that's a good choice on our part. We'll have to see how our young brother turns out. Formidable fighter, don't want to waste that. Oh, he's arbitrary. That's not good. Let's hope brooding doesn't turn out in the same fashion. At least temperate is, kind of offsets that, I guess. That must have just happened. His learning went down to 4. Ugh. Okay. Nothing. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. Temperate at least gets the stewardship back to where it needs to be. Hopefully, brooding turns out to be okay in the future. I hope so. Anyways. Oh, look, a son was born to Aryan Clove, young Simon. So another male member of House Clove. That's good. Rebuilding and allowing it to do its thing. Let's check on this War in the Den. 26% in favor of Lord Garen. So it looks like we're in for a long war down there. I hope they finish up quick. We might not be able to do our time lapse today. Oh no. A moment of silence, if we can just do this for just a second. A moment of silence for Lord Paramount Lionel the Warrior of House Redhorn. He was a noble man, the first knight of the Kingdom of the Woods, a formidable fighter, a brilliant commander, just a good dude. Served very, very well as our Master at Arms for a very long time. His son, Lord Paramount Oswell, who survived Grayscale, is now in command. It has been prolific. He has a ton of daughters. Wow. 5 daughters, 2 sons. Lord Hallion. I'm actually going to ask permission to make myself. Huh. Are they outside of the Kingdom of the Woods? They're not. I don't know why he wouldn't have the plus benefit of his, me being his liege. Let's go ahead and send him. Oh man, that's a gigantic gift. Good lord. Let's go ahead and do that. And let's see if we can't take over from here. Yeah, he will. Okay, so that boosted his opinion enough for us to kind of have a little bit of control. Oswald's not really a fighter. He's a knight, but he doesn't have any fighting traits. So let's see if we can turn the next generation after Lord Oswell into a good fighter. Give him some good fighting traits, because he's not going to get any from Oswell. So, but we also have a decision to make about our chief general. And I think, oh yeah, definitely the mountain. Why wouldn't we just do that? Not really much of a decision, is it? Yeah, we're going to do Edric Weirwood. That's fine. What is up with this? There we go. I don't know why that wasn't working. We're gonna have him train troops. I know that takes him away from his war down there, but I think they're doing just fine without him. I don't think the armies of the Den can raise up enough levies to kind of go against what he's dealing with. So, but now that we don't have our friend or our brother as a ward, we can take over the guardianship of Lord Hallion. There's also one other. Oh, look, Lord Eden grew up. Eden Roosmont, and he's currently fighting a war. Oh, he's on the side of the Den. There must be something there. He must be intriguing something. He actually ended up with pretty good stats. Must have good base stats. Oh yeah, base 7 stewardship and intrigue. Good for him. And he already has a son, Euphrates. So good for him. I think we'll see something interesting happen with House Roosmont here in the near future. After everything that happened with them. I hate it when that happens. These two little things are gonna bug me. It's okay, we're gonna fix them before long. So, but yeah, let's move forward. We're gonna see how young Atreus turns out. Formidable fighter. Moose, this is a throwback to you too, being that that's the name that you wanted for the longest time. And it's been probably one of the longest running names, other than my own, for, you know, in the Kingdom of the Woods. Aegon as well, I suppose. I think the Redwoods just went to war. They're experiencing harsh winter too. Okay, so there's a war against the tyranny of Lord Oswell. I don't know. He's not a tyrant. I don't know why they're fighting that. Let's see if I can command to end. No, those are two. There's 2 Stormlander wars for war against the tyranny and civil war. Okay. I'm gonna just ask them to end both of those wars. I don't see the option to end this one though. They both ended. Good job. Good game. So, direct vassals. I'm gonna transfer this guy over. If I can. I don't think I can. Okay, I can't. I lied. I'm not going to transfer that guy over. I think he's only a part of my... because of all of that, so... Okay, we'll look and see what happens with that. I don't think there's going to be any issues. Looks like we just had some raiders land. We'll march the 14,000. Scare them off, at least. Yeah, look, they're running. That's good. Oh, look at that. Good. I was wondering when this was going to happen again. So we have the option of having another child. Maybe even an heir now. We have our daughter, Princess Rhaenyra, who's, you know, a bit tough to look at, but that's okay. It's sad that you can call a 4-year-old ugly. That's the one limitation of CK2. You're like, nah, it's an ugly baby. But Queen Bessa is pregnant, so that's good. Gain a little bit of prestige, but also have the potential to have ourselves a little heir. That's good. That's exciting times. Where are you guys going? Okay, you're gone. Good. Disband this unit. And yeah, let's move forward. I'm hoping we can get a good look at. It'll only be a couple of days before Aelix grows up. It's July 1st. When's his birthday? It should be like July 10th, 19th. Okay. So let's look and see how he turns out. I'm a little nervous. In fact, I'm very nervous. In fact, I'm like second guessing everything about the decisions I've made in the past. Yep. With good reason. And look, the Den Civil War has ended. Samuel of Strongsong. Okay, so we have a new opening for Chief General, and you know, in spite of how disappointed I am with how he turned out, I think it's a good place for Atreus Bear because of his formidable fighting ability. 2 learning, gosh, and he ended up with Wrath. At least Wrath increases his martial a little bit. So it didn't turn out exactly how I had hoped. But Formidable Fighter's impressive, that's for sure. And we'll go ahead and have him train children. We can't have the mountain train children when he is under the den, because he's technically a High Lord in a different under a different Lord Paramount. So we're not able to do that. It looks like now might be a really good time for us to assess the border situation. And I think we're going to do that, you know, going forward. I think we're finally to the point where we can do that. All the mega wars have ended, and yeah, we're finally to a good spot where we can begin to take a look at the borders, define them. If you have suggestions, please leave them down in the comment section below. Be interested to see what you guys think of all that, and we'll see going forward what it looks like for, you know, in terms of divisions and who is who. I have my own plans, but I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. So yeah, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys.